Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 616 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Commander-in-Chief General Valery Zaluzhny wrote a column for The Economist in which he talked about the situation on the front line and what Ukraine needs to win, reports Ukrainska Pravda. He believes that the war with Russia is moving to a new stage, positional warfare with static and exhausting battles. The commander-in-chief warns that such a war is beneficial to Russia because it gives it the opportunity to regain strength. In such a situation, the armed forces need key military capabilities and technologies. The most important of them is air power. Control of the skies is essential for large-scale ground operations. This includes both manned aircraft and drones. Zaluzhny noted that Russia currently maintains the significant advantage over Ukraine in the sky, and this makes it difficult for Ukrainian troops to advance. Ukraine's other priorities are means of radio-electronic warfare and greater access to electronic intelligence from allies, as well as counter-battery fire, that is, the destruction of enemy artillery. Zaluzhny pointed out that in this war, artillery, missile and rocket fire make up to 60 or even 80 of all military tasks. When Ukraine first received Western weapons last year, the Ukrainian military was quite successful in detecting and engaging Russian artillery. However, the effectiveness of such weapons has sharply decreased due to the improvement of Russian electronic warfare equipment. Russia's counter-battery fire has also improved. This is largely due to the use of Lancet loitering munitions, which work in conjunction with reconnaissance drones, and the increase in production of high-precision projectiles that can be guided by ground characters. As he said, so far Ukraine has managed to achieve parity with Russia thanks to more accurate firearms, albeit in smaller quantities. But it cannot last long. Quote, "We need our partners to send us better artillery reconnaissance equipment that can locate Russian guns," unquote, the commander-in-chief says. Technology for mine breaching is the fourth priority. Russian minefields extend as far back as 20 kilometers in some places, and even Western supplies have proven inadequate. Russia quickly restocks minefields when Ukrainian forces breach them by firing new mines from a distance. Ukraine needs smoke projection systems to hide the actions of its demining units and radar-like sensors that use invisible light pulses to detect mines in the ground. Ukrainian forces would also find useful water cannons, cluster munitions, or jet engines from retired aircraft to get past mine barriers without going underground. Additionally helpful are novel forms of tunnel excavators. The fifth and last priority is building up Ukrainian reserves. Ukraine has a limited ability to train reserves within its own borders. The soldiers that are positioned at the front are difficult to spare. Russia can also attack training facilities. Furthermore, there are legal loopholes that let people avoid their obligations to serve. According to Zaluzhny, Ukraine is trying to solve these problems. A single register of those liable for military service is being implemented, and it is also planned to expand the category of citizens who can be called up. We would really appreciate if you could rate us, ideally with 5 stars, in the apps where you are listening to this podcast: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or others. This really helps more people to find out about the highlights from Ukraine and truth about Russia's invasion. According to South Korea's intelligence, North Korea has provided Russia with over 1 million rounds of artillery for use in the war against Ukraine, reports Slovo i Dilo. At a closed-door briefing with South Korean lawmakers on 1st of November, the National Intelligence Service said that about 10 shipments of weapons from North Korea had been sent to Russia since August. North Korea has also sent advisors to Russia to explain how to use this munition, which will be enough for about 2 months. At the same time, the EU explained that it won't be able to deliver promised 1 million shells to Ukraine on time due to production capacity limitations. Ukrainian Parliament Commissioner for Human Rights Dmytro Lubinets informed that the terrorists of so-called Donetsk People's Republic sentenced several Ukrainian military to lengthy imprisonments, reports Radio Liberty. Oleg Kolmychevsky, head of the Radiation, Chemical and Biological Protection Service, was sentenced to life imprisonment. Two soldiers of the 56th Brigade, grenade launcher operator Dmytro Dobrovolsky and gunner Alexander Romanishin, to 30 years in prison each. Lubinets stressed that the announced sentences are carried out by quasi-entities unrecognized by the world community and are illegal. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just two people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we're getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.